What I did to you now? What I did?
know what you...
I don't know.
I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, I just want you to leave me alone.
Okay, go alone.
I will.
Okay, go.
What's that famous saying? Out of the frying pan into the fire? Yeah, we're jumping straight to it today. Nicole and Mahmoud have literally been fighting the entire time she's been in Egypt. And it seems like it's all been gearing up for this final blow.
You don't get to control me anymore, Mahmoud. I'm tired of your bull.
Okay, so I will wait for 5 minutes. If you not come, with the forest.
I don't give a whatever
Okay,
you want to do.
bye.
Just go.
Nicole has finally reached her limit with Mahmoud and his controlling nature. And Mahmoud is done with Nicole not being the perfect Egyptian wife. This was an absolutely crazy episode. But before we get to the beef, let's go back and see how it all unravelled. So we join them the day after the pair visited Mahmoud's uncle, and Nicole is looking slightly more upbeat. Why? Did they finally sort out some of their problems?
Last night, when we got back from Mahmoud's uncle's house, we agreed to just stop talking about our problems for now because we're exhausted.
Right, sure, because not talking about your problems will magically make them disappear. I mean, yes, there is something to cutting your losses after a tough day and starting afresh with a new perspective the next morning. But when it comes to these two, the problem is we've repeatedly seen them have blistering arguments with no resolution. So I'm not holding my breath that this strategy of avoidance is going to work out for them. But when we join them at the start of this episode, they seem to be giving it a go. And it looks like Mahmoud's taken his uncle's advice to heart. He's really making an effort to show Nicole his way of life. Step 1, teaching her exactly how to pray.
So what do you love to know how to do? Pray?
What you, like the motions?
The
or what you
steps
do?
and like what we can say.
Yeah, I'd like to learn how to pray, honey.
Isn't it crazy to think that these two have been married for well over a year? Nicole's converted her religion, yet Mahmoud's never even shown Nicole how to pray. But I guess you could also argue that isn't it Nicole's responsibility to learn how to pray in the religion she's converted to? Wherever the responsibility lies, either way, despite religion and lack of understanding, lack of compromise playing a major role in all of the issues these two are facing, it's only now that apparently Nicole is learning the basics.
Though I'm struggling with my faith right now, actually maybe prayer is what I need. I haven't taken the time necessary to fully learn how to do it, and there's a lot I don't know.
I think we can all agree that Nicole converted to Islam without really understanding the religion. She converted for her husband. But even if she did just convert to be with Mahmoud, has she been twiddling her thumbs this entire time? Like, what did she do exactly for the months that she lived in Egypt previously? Did they not pray together before? Because that's the impression we're getting when she's asking him what the very basics are all about.
What do you do? What exactly are you doing?
You have to clean. Nicole many times watch me when I pray, but she always like forget.
Mahmoud's giving her a lot of grace right now, but we have been told in the past that Nicole prays, so you've got to assume that this isn't all new to her. She must have done this before.
Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
He starts saying the prayer in the most beautiful voice, and I've never heard it before.
You've never heard it before, have you, Nicole?
Nicole many times watch me when I pray.
You see what I mean? Like, there's something about this storyline that doesn't add up. I just don't trust what Nicole's saying. In my mind, there's only two versions of this that make sense, and they both make Nicole look bad. Either Mahmoud's lying and she's never seen him pray, which means she's never bothered to learn how to pray even after converting, or Mahmoud's telling the truth, which means she's lying to the camera about just how much she knows. But why? Like, what's she getting out of this? Is she trying to look more like a victim? I just can't work out what her end goal is here.
I think it's beautiful to be that devoted to something. I actually feel really close to him in this moment.
For now at least, they seem to be in a better place from where they were yesterday.
I do appreciate Islam and involving God in your life.
I wish I was more softer with you first. So it'll be more easy to teach you. And I'm sorry about that.
Despite being the source of so many of their problems, on this occasion, religion seems to be bringing them closer together. And you can feel the tension in the house begin to ease. Now, because it's set to be a very hot day in Cairo, Mahmoud makes a suggestion. He suggests that they head over to the local pool to cool down. And in what's proving to be incredibly rare, it seems like they're both in such a good mood that they're even willing to make some jokes. Imagine that.
Can I wear my bikini?
What if... I'm just like teach you how to wear, so I don't want to be rude.
I'm just kidding, honey.
So don't.
It's all fun and games for a second or two, but then suddenly things turn serious. Mahmoud wants to double check that Nicole knows exactly what she needs to wear. And although Nicole's not happy about this modest type of swimwear, Mahmoud is pretty firm. He lays down the law and he says that if she's not willing to wear it, well, she can forget about going swimming.
You know how I feel about that.
I know, Ella, but like no way. So if you don't have that, you never can swim. You know that?
Okay.
So it's your choice. I'm never going to force you to swim, honey.
I know Mahmoud's trying to keep it light, but that does come across as a bit passive-aggressive. He was literally just talking about how he should have been softer with Nicole when it came to introducing her to Islamic ways. But 1 minute later, here he is giving firm ultimatums. Now, Nicole complains about how her love for swimming has been affected by the costume she's forced to wear. And yeah, I get it, of course. For someone who's grown up wearing bikinis, for someone who loves clothes and has clothes tied to her identity in the way that Nicole does, this is quite jarring. It's quite a shocking thing to see. But then you've got to take a step back for a second, right? On first glance, this is radically different to a bikini. Of course it is. But it's not too dissimilar to a bodysuit that a diver or a surfer would wear. I guess what I'm saying here is the suit itself isn't that alien. It shouldn't be enough to ruin a good swim on a hot day. But again, the real issue seems to be more about control and a lack of understanding.
Do you have to wear, I mean, this is a weird question. Do you have to wear something under it? What?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Well, I need to know.
Oh dear. Mahmoud's demeanour changes entirely after this question. It seems fairly innocent. It is a skin-tight costume after all. But instead of answering a valid question, Mahmoud's had enough. He storms out of the room, like we've seen him do in the past when he's trying to avoid a fight. Only this time, Nicole is genuinely confused as to what she's done to upset him.
I get so tired of him always getting so mad at me, and it's like he really resents me for being American, I think.
I don't think that's correct, Nicole. Look, Mahmoud has a lot of faults, but I don't get the impression he's mad at her for being American here. I think the source of his anger boils down to the fact that Nicole is asking questions that encourage the viewer to visualise her body. At least that's my interpretation of it. Modesty means a lot to Mahmoud. Nicole knows that. She knows that he has real issues about talking about her body. Keep in mind, we know that Nicole's worn this swimsuit before. So did she really need to ask Mahmoud that?
I don't think I knew exactly what dressing modestly actually truly meant until the first time I wore the swimsuit that I would need to wear. And it was a very profound moment for me.
Right, so we know she's worn one of these suits before. So why is she pretending to be ignorant again? She knows, or at least she should know by now, that talking about her body is a flashpoint. It triggers an argument with Mahmoud, and it makes Mahmoud look like the bad guy. Yet again, his wife is in tears. And once again, the tension has officially returned to the apartment.
And just you wanna decide you can have nice time, so we can try. We just like try to have like great date today.
It sounds ominous, doesn't it? They're not going to have that great day that they're hoping for. But for now at least, the pair head to the pool and they try to reset like they did this morning. By not really talking about their issues, they're hoping that they'll magically go away. But they won't, and it's all about to end in disaster. Now, she says something very interesting here.
You know, I really feel self-conscious in this swimsuit, so I hope you can understand.
I know, Mela, but you wanna swim this on the way.
This is my new life, and I'm just not used to it, and I don't like it that much. You know, I don't like to wear that.
So it seems like Nicole's main issue with the swimsuit isn't to do with religious beliefs, but rather how she looks in it. The costume makes her feel self-conscious, and I feel for her here. This is completely out of her comfort zone, and I do get that. But let's not lose sight of the fact that she is in Egypt. Egypt. Like, let's say that she were to have worn this burkini at a beach in America. You can imagine how people would probably stop and stare. Most people would probably never have seen a lady wearing one before. But that's not the case in Egypt. Here, it's relatively common. So while I get that she feels self-conscious, the truth is she's probably not being stared at or looked at in the way that she thinks she is. In fact, if anything, she'd probably get more eyes staring at her if she were to wear a bikini at this pool.
That means I'm bad person or like whatever.
I'm not saying you're a bad person, but I am saying you're an uncompromising person.
I'm trying to be more nice.
What happened to Nicole loving how devoted Mahmoud was? Remember that? She doesn't like it so much when it starts to directly affect her, does she? Now, Mahmoud promises to be nice. He remembers how he promised to be softer with Nicole. But we're constantly seeing these two say and acknowledge that they need to do better with each other, only to then, within minutes, go back to their old ways.
I'm choosing not to wear the hijab part of this bathing swimsuit because I don't wear hijab. I don't cover my hair.
Nicole is attempting to compromise here. She's saying that she's only wearing the burkini for Mahmoud, but that she refuses to cover her hair because she doesn't wear a hijab. We know that she refuses to be forced into that, regardless of what Mahmoud or his family expect. So, will Mahmoud be nice about this? Remember, he's not supposed to be forcing Nicole into doing anything.
My uncle was talking me, I have to show her how to do, but I never can first here because I did that with things like clothes and she hated that.
Yeah.
How you feel?
Yeah, it's weird.
I love you. You did it, honey. Thank
you get
you.
to look so cute and everything.
You look so cute. Amazing, really.
Mahmoud's very encouraging and he seems happy that Nicole agreed to wear her costume. He makes sure to compliment her. He tries to give Nicole that positive reinforcement. He wants her to feel cute because that seems important to her. And we also see at this point that the other women with their husbands by the pool are also wearing burkinis. So there's no real need for Nicole to feel self-conscious or out of place.
This is what's happening to you when you love some Egyptian guy.
I wish I knew.
Yeah, so you have to tell all people around you, never.
Never.
No Egyptian people.
Mahmoud is trying here, and while Nicole wasn't having it at first, she eventually manages to relax a bit. In a jokey way, Mahmoud even acknowledges that what he's been asking from her has been a lot. It's nice to see him show some form of appreciation for Nicole.
You're more strong than me, honey. You'll leave your country, leave everybody, change your clothes, change your mind about things. This is all like, I don't know if I'm in your situation I can do or not.
This is the first time we're seeing this side of Mahmoud. He's speaking from the heart and is coming across as really warm, really genuine. But what Nicole really wants to hear is that he'll be more open to compromise.
If I change something like to make you very happy and not make me happy, still we have the same problem.
To compromise means that, like, it hurts a little.
Nicole wants Mahmoud to relax on his beliefs a little bit, and Mahmoud responds by saying that he has done so a lot. And to his credit, I think we've seen that. I mean, the fact that Nicole is sitting there right now without the hijab part on, and Mahmoud hasn't even brought it up, is proof of that. You've got to imagine that had she done that previously on her last trips to Egypt, that would have been a big deal for him. But Nicole doesn't seem to see this. She doesn't consider this flexible or compromising enough.
So, I promise you I will like do my best, but change my mind about saying it.
Like what things?
I was saying what we...
Oh, okay, you'll think.
The thing with compromise is it doesn't really work unless you're each giving up things of equal value. Mahmoud is asking Nicole to give up her fashion sense. Now, your fashion sense changes over time. It can also change dependent on your location. What's fashionable in Egypt is different to what's fashionable in LA, for example. Nicole can still be a fashionable woman in her current context in Cairo. And I think she's showing this. I mean, the fact that she's trying to design her own modest clothing that she'd happily wear herself, is proof of that. But, on the other hand, Nicole's asking Mahmoud to be flexible on things like religion. That's a much harder ask. You've got to keep in mind that these are rules that Mahmoud and his family have probably followed for generations. Nicole's asking him to break these to make her happy. She seems to ignore the fact that breaking those rules would cause discord within his family. Is that a fair compromise? Is it fair to expect Mahmoud to give up on his core beliefs, potentially lose the respect of his friends, his family, his community?
Of course, I want to change to make Nicole feel happy, but like, I don't know how to do that anymore. Don't know how to change who I am.
Okay, so I've tried to be understanding of Mahmoud, but there is a line, and he's testing it when at the pool. He needs to take off his shirt to enter the water. The stark difference of seeing Nicole covered head to toe versus Mahmoud free to just wear his shorts is quite hard to swallow.
Why do you need to take that off?
Because it's caught and it's not allowed to go with that.
Oh, well, if it's not allowed, then I guess you have to take it off.
Okay, my love, just for a few minutes, okay?
Now, all things aside, the pair have a lot of fun in the pool. So where does it all go so wrong? Well, we know that they've been putting off an argument. They've been bottling up their real feelings and pretending that everything's okay. They've been determined to just have a nice day for once. But now the pressure's built and something small sets them off. Now, because the cameras weren't rolling while they were getting changed after their swim, we don't quite know what happened. But apparently, Mahmoud started acting weird.
I walked up to Mahmoud and he was acting funny and I asked him what's wrong and he said something passive-aggressive to me like you care anyway.
And that small interaction broke Nicole's dam. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. After a day of learning how to pray for Mahmoud, wearing a burkini for Mahmoud, Nicole's officially had enough. It may have only been a small jab, but it now sees Nicole storming out of the hotel pool, swearing and leaving Mahmoud to chase after her onto the streets.
What I did to you now?
Just your whole attitude, like everything
What
about
I did
you.
to you? Tell me what I
Everything about you.
Tell me what I did now.
Everything about you.
Tell me
right
what
now.
I did to you now. Tell me exactly what I did.
You never want to be that couple, the ones screaming on the streets, airing their dirty laundry. But I'm assuming that you especially don't want to be that couple in Egypt. Now, Nicole's too upset to articulate how she's feeling. It's a combination of everything that's been going on. And that's a big conversation to have, especially to an angry Mahmoud on a busy street. As for Mahmoud, well, now seems to be his turn to fake ignorance. We've seen Mahmoud be passive-aggressive. We've seen him make gestures or roll his eyes. So I don't think Nicole's lying. I think Mahmoud knows exactly what he did to upset her.
Always picking at me, and I'm tired of it.
Tell me what I did exactly there.
Leave me alone.
I need to know what I did there.
Just leave me alone.
Let me know.
You know what you did.
What I did.
You know what you
With Mahmoud repeating over and over again, tell me what I did, tell me. But Nicole refusing to give him anything. The pair are once again at a dead end. Without communication, and clearly there's no communication going on here, well, there's no way they're going to resolve this issue. In fact, it's only going to get worse, and this fight is escalating in a bad way. Crowds begin to gather in the streets. Random passers-by are stopping to watch what's going on.
go find some other.
Don't do that to me, okay?
Let me go.
Okay, I want to let you go.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
This is getting bad. Nicole pushes Mahmoud in a fit of anger, and that really annoys Mahmoud. He grabs her wrist and yells at her not to do that. Both are now laying hands on each other in anger. That's unacceptable. But while Nicole's fuming at the way Mahmoud constantly makes her feel like she's not good enough, Mahmoud kind of confirms this by comparing her to an Egyptian woman.
I have an Egyptian wife. If she did that to me, no way, she's yelling at me or brown people, this never can be.
Yeah, well, sorry Mahmoud, but you don't have an Egyptian wife. Nicole's not just going to let you talk to her however you please with zero consequences. Mahmoud seems embarrassed that people have witnessed this. His pride seems hurt that people have seen his wife push him.
What Nicole did to pushing me around people is not accept at all. She knows that. At this moment, I felt she are not like my wife, the one I choose.
This really highlights how differently Nicole and Mahmoud think. To Nicole, a push is a push. I don't think she gave even a split second of thought as to how that might have been interpreted by either Mahmoud or the community. She comes from a world where you look after yourself and your own. She's a very independent lady. But from the world that Mahmoud's from Eastern and Middle Eastern cultures, they're very heavily community based. How your community see you really influences how you behave. Nicole's never been that kind of girl. She's never really given too much thought to what people think. This is a lady who still works as a pizza delivery driver. She gets married without telling her parents. She does what she does for herself. She doesn't care what people think. But Mahmoud really does. Maybe that's why he chose to say whatever it was that sparked this whole confrontation away from the cameras so no one else could hear.
He says it like behind the scenes, like so that like no one's paying attention and nothing's ever good enough for him. Like, I've had it. Had it.
Nicole is at her wit's end, and I can completely understand why she just snapped. Now, Mahmoud does go after her one more time. He tries to convince her to go home with him so that they can talk, but he goes about it in a terrible way. Everything about the way he does this comes across as more controlling than caring.
You don't get to control me anymore, Mahmoud. I'm tired of your bull.
Okay, so I will wait for 5 minutes. If you not come, will you force?
I don't give a whatever
Okay,
you want to do.
bye.
Just go.
I don't know how these guys are going to come back from this argument. Nicole seems 1000% done with this right now. Mahmoud feels deeply disrespected. But by giving Nicole that ultimatum when she's already feeling controlled, it's just set himself up for failure. Nicole's not in a state of mind to be listening to him right now, and Mahmoud needs to give her a little space to process how she feels.
I just don't have anything left in me at the moment.
Is there any coming back from this? With all of their differences, it makes you question, what are these guys even fighting for?